Hi, this is Larry Chambers. I'm in Phnom Penh. Oh, thank you so much. So beautiful. Oh my God. I want to tell you a story about a non-Vietnam vet, but a ranger that I admire, and most of the guys that have met him think he's pretty cool. His name is Max Mullen, or Mad Max. And I first met him in 1986 at a reunion, and he had jumped into Grenada to rescue a bunch of the students, and he was a part of the 75th Rangers. Matter of fact, he was an instructor that is built like an Olympic wrestler. And Max was telling this story, and there was a bunch of us that were Vietnam veterans, and we're sitting on this armored car thing, and there's a whole bunch of his platoon, and he's talking about when they made this jump, and that's when they didn't know if they were going to land or jump, and they put their parachutes on, took their parachutes off, put them on, which if you're inside a plane, that's a big deal, because I mean, I'm always nervous about putting the parachute on, and I put it on upside down and it opens the wrong way. I don't know, something goes wrong. So they land, and he tells this story, and they're got their guns out, and they move through here, and they're taking some machine gun fire over there, and they spend all day, and they low crawl across the end of the runway, and they get to the school, and then suddenly this Cuban jumps up with an AK-47, and Max shoots the guy, and then falls dead, and then they start going on. And so in the middle of all this story, I raised my hand. The story had been going on for about 20 minutes, and I said, Max, so this is a long story, and you only killed one guy? And I guess you had to be there to think that that's funny, but considering that all of the guys that were LRPs that I knew had been on multiple missions and had been around a lot of combat, and most of their stories involve a lot of drama, and this one just didn't seem to quite fit. So I'm sorry, Max, I don't mean to embarrass you, but Max can take it because he's tough. Anyway, he's one of my favorite guys. I once invited Max. He came out to Ojai, came out to visit Ken Miller, another ranger friend of mine, lifelong friend of mine. And so Max came up to my gym in Ojai, California. Now I have to tell you that, set the background. Max is black, and he's built like an Olympic wrestler, probably benches 380 pounds on a bad day. So we go to my gym, and we're down in the weight room, and I can still remember all of these, because where I grew up, it's all white, all these white middle class guys that are, let's just say they were never in shape, are looking at this guy and lifting, a couple hundred pounds on each end, and they're on their little machines, and it was just funny. That's another thing. I guess you had to be there to watch the looks on a white person's face when an athlete is present, especially a former ranger that is the instructor for the knife part of the ranger course. He was at ranger school also for I forget how many years. So that's my Max Mullen story for tonight.